Good morning, students. Welcome to our second lecture on chapter 5, that is magnetism and matter. Now, in last lecture, we have discussed few basic concepts of magnetic field and magnetism, right? As well as we have compared electrical and magnetic components, right? Electrical and magnetic physical quantities you can see. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about torque acting on a dipole, magnetic dipole kept in a uniform magnetic field. If you remember in chapter 1, you have discussed about torque acting on electric dipole kept in uniform electric field. As well as you might have derived equation for the energy, potential energy of the dipole. So same thing we are going to do in this lecture, but for magnetic field. And we are also going to solve few examples related to this. We are going to derive equation for time period of oscillation of a magnetic dipole kept in a uniform magnetic field. If we displace it through a very small angle, so that it will start performing oscillations, and we will find time period for that oscillation as well as frequency of that oscillation. Here, so let us start. Suppose we have uniform magnetic field along x-axis. Let us say this is uniform magnetic field along x-axis. Now, a magnetic dipole, that is a magnetic needle, is kept in this uniform magnetic field. Let us say this is our magnetic needle, right, which is kept in a uniform magnetic field. Now we know that magnetic field lines moves from north to south outside the magnet. Magnetic field lines always travels from north to south outside the magnet. So it means that this side must be the north pole of the magnet, and here somewhere we have south pole of the magnet. So magnetic field line is moving from north to south. Now if a dipole is kept in this uniform magnetic field, let us say value of magnetic field is B, then this end of the dipole will experience a force in this direction, and this end of the dipole or magnetic needle will experience force in this direction. Right? Let us say F2 and this is F1. Now these two forces F1 and F2 will be equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. The force F1 and F2 will be equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. As well as clearly you can see that both these forces are non-collinear force. Non-collinear force means if you extend this force in reverse direction, they will not intersect or they will not meet at a particular point. So you can say that these two forces are equal in magnitude as well as opposite in direction. And you can also add that these two forces are non-collinear force. So if two non-collinear forces which are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction acts on any object, then you can say that they will form a couple. Right? So the torque will act on that object. So here on magnetic dipole, two forces are acting which are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction as well as non-collinear. So they will produce torque on the dipole. Now the formula for torque acting on a dipole, electric dipole kept in a uniform electric field is torque equal to P cross E, where P is electric dipole moment and E is electric field. So here the torque acting on the dipole will be the torque acting on magnetic dipole kept in uniform magnetic field is torque tau equals to M cross B. Remember here M is known as magnetic dipole moment and B is magnetic field. Uniform magnetic field you can add. So this will be the torque acting on it. Now the magnitude of torque will be the magnitude of torque will be torque or you can write tau equal to minus mb sin theta. Now here I am writing minus sign, negative sign. Here negative sign indicates that this torque is a restoring torque. What do you mean by restoring torque? If we have a magnetic dipole kept in a uniform magnetic field, now if I will display it from its equilibrium position, if you are moving the dipole from its equilibrium position, then a restoring torque will develop in it. And that restoring torque is always opposite to the applied torque. And that's why we are writing here negative sign. Right? What is theta over here? So let us say theta is angle made by the dipole with magnetic field. Sorry, angle made by the dipole with magnetic field. Let us say this is x-axis and this is the angle theta. Let this be our equation number 1. Now, if you remember in 11th standard in rotational motion, you have come across torque equal to I alpha, where I is moment of inertia and alpha is angular acceleration. So you can write that we know that torque tau is equal to I alpha, where I is moment of inertia and alpha is angular acceleration. Also, alpha is equal to d square theta by dt square. You have come across this equation also, right? This all thing we have discussed in chapter 7, rotational motion, standard 11, right? So alpha will be equal to d square theta by dt square. So you can say that therefore torque will be equal to I alpha. Instead of alpha, you can write d square theta by dt square. Let this be equation number 2. So comparing equation 1 and 2, we will get I d square theta by dt square is equal to minus mb sin theta. Right. Now if theta is very small, then we know that sin theta is nearly equal to theta. So therefore you will get I d square theta by dt square is equal to minus mb theta, or therefore d square theta by dt square will be equal to minus mb over I into theta. If you see this equation, you will find that this equation is exactly similar to the equation for simple harmonic motion. The equation for a particle performing simple harmonic motion is d square y by dt square is equal to minus omega square y. Right? So this equation is exactly similar to equation of simple harmonic motion. So you can say that hence this dipole will perform simple harmonic motion. If you displace this dipole to a very small angle theta and if you release it, then that dipole will perform simple harmonic motion. So if you compare this equation, comparing above equation with d square y by dt square is equal to minus omega square y. So here instead of theta we have y. Y is displacement and this is angular displacement. Y is displacement and here we have angular displacement. Negative sign. So omega square. Therefore we can say that omega square must be equal to mb over I, which implies that omega will be equal to the root of nb over I. But we know that omega is equal to 2 pi f. So this implies that 2 pi f will be equal to the root mb over I, or therefore f will be equal to 1 over 2 pi under root mb over I. Right. So this is the formula for frequency of oscillation of the dipole in a uniform magnetic field. Now we know that also periodic time t is 1 upon f, inverse of frequency. So therefore you can say that t will be equal to 2 pi under root I by mb. Under root I by mb. This is the equation of time period for a dipole, magnetic dipole oscillating in a uniform magnetic field. Remember, this is an important equation for you. The whole theory may be asked for 2 marks. That obtain equation of time period for a dipole kept in a uniform magnetic field. Right? So this can be asked for 2 marks. Of course, we do have few examples based on this formula, which we are going to see now. So there are few examples based on this formula also. Here you have to remember that I is moment of inertia, N is magnetic dipole moment, and B is magnetic field. In this lecture, up till now, we have discussed about torque acting on a magnetic dipole kept in a uniform magnetic field, and the formula for it is torque tau equal to M cross B. This is the torque acting on a magnetic dipole kept in a uniform magnetic field. The second formula which we have discussed today is frequency of oscillation if a magnetic dipole is kept in a uniform magnetic field, and if it is displaced from its equilibrium position and released, then it will start performing oscillations, right? So the frequency of oscillation F will be equal to 1 over 2 pi under root mb by I, and the inverse of that, that is the time period of oscillation, will be t equal to 2 pi under root I by mb. This will be the time period of oscillation of magnetic dipole in a uniform magnetic field. Now we are going to derive formula for potential energy or the work done in displacing a dipole through a small angle, right? So next topic is potential energy, or you can say that magnetic potential energy of a dipole. We know that the work done in rotating a dipole, by a very small angle, the work done in rotating a dipole through a very small angle, say theta, is given as, the formula for work is W is equal to integration torque into d theta. In chapter 7, rotational motion, again you have come across this formula. Work done equal to force into displacement. So for rotational motion, work done will be equal to torque into displacement, right? So torque into d theta. So therefore, W will be equal to integration of, we know that formula for torque is mb sin theta into d theta, because torque equal to mb sin theta. So therefore, W will be equal to, if you take mb constant, integration of sin theta d theta. So this will be equal to mb, integration of sin theta is minus cos theta. So this will be equal to minus mb cos theta, or therefore you can say that work done will be equal to minus m dot b. If cos theta is there, it is a scalar product. So W is equal to minus m dot b. Now here negative sign indicates that we are rotating the dipole against its equilibrium position. If you remember, we have discussed this in standard 11, that if you are doing any work against something, that work will always be stored in the form of potential energy. Say for example, in 11th standard we have discussed that an object is lying on the ground. Now you are doing the work, you are lifting the object to a certain height h. So you are doing work against gravitational force. So that work then will be converted into, or will be stored in the form of potential energy. So here also we are doing work against the equilibrium position of a dipole. So this work done will be stored in the form of potential energy of the dipole. So therefore we can say that potential energy will be equal to minus m dot b, or you can say that the U is equal to minus mb cos theta. Now here of course we can discuss few special cases, that what will be the work done in rotating a dipole from 0 to 90 degree, most stable to most unstable position. If a dipole is in most stable position, then the angle will be 0 with magnetic field, because for most stable position potential energy must be minimum, right? So let us say, in this case, let us discuss special cases. If theta equal to 0, in this equation if theta is 0, that is the dipole is in most stable position. If angle is 0, obviously if angle is 0, then torque acting on it will be 0, torque equal to mb sin theta. So theta is 0, so torque will be 0, so no torque will act on it. So you can say that the dipole is in most stable position. So if theta is 0, you can say the dipole is in most stable position. Then potential energy U will be equal to minus mb cos 0, and cos 0 is 1, so this will be equal to minus mb, and this is minimum potential energy. Minimum potential energy. So the minimum potential energy of a dipole will be minus mb, right? And whenever energy is minimum, you can say that the object is in most stable position. Now if theta is equal to 180 degree, this is first case. Now let us consider the second case, where if theta is equal to 180 degree, that is magnetic field and the dipole moment both are in opposite direction, right? So if theta is 180 degree, you can say that dipole is in most unstable position. So you can say that the dipole is in most unstable position. Then U will be equal to minus mb cos 180 degree, and that is minus mb into cos 180 is minus 1. So this will be equal to plus mb, and this energy will be maximum potential energy. So when the potential energy is maximum, we can say that the dipole is in most unstable position. And if potential energy is minimum, then you can say that the dipole is in most stable position. Clear? Now next, it may be asked that what will be the potential energy of a dipole, right, when we rotate a dipole by an angle of 180 degree, from 0 to 180 degree, or find the potential energy or work done in rotating a dipole from most stable position to most unstable position, or most unstable position to most stable position. So the work done in rotating a dipole from the most stable position to the most unstable position will be W is equal to, our third condition, to rotate a dipole from most stable position, it is theta equal to 0, to most unstable position. So most unstable position is theta is 180 degree. Theta is equal to 0 degree and theta is equal to 180 degree. So in that case, we know that work done will be equal to integration of theta 1 to theta 2 mb sin theta d theta. So this will be equal to mb common integration of sin theta d theta from theta 1 to theta 2. So that will be equal to mb into minus cos theta from theta 1 to theta 2. So this will be equal to mb into minus cos theta 2 and minus minus plus cos theta 1. So you can say that this will be equal to nb into cos theta 1 minus cos theta 2. This will be the work done in rotating a dipole from one angle to another angle, right? For most stable to unstable, we have to substitute value of theta in this equation, right? So here theta 1 is initial position and theta 2 is final position. So therefore, in our case, work done will be equal to mb into cos 0 degree minus cos 180 degree. So that will be equal to mb cos 0 is 1 minus cos 180 is minus 1. So minus of minus 1 will be plus 1. So 1 plus 1 will be 2. So this work done will be equal to 2 mb. Right. So the work done in rotating a dipole from most stable to most unstable position is 2 mb. And the work done in rotating a dipole from most unstable to most stable position will be minus 2 mb. Because most unstable, so here will be 180 degree and here will be 0. So cos 180 minus cos 0. So cos 180 will be minus 1 and minus cos 0 is 1. So minus 1 will be minus 2. So this will be minus 2 mb. So you have to remember this as a part of your MCQ. It can be asked in MCQ that what will be the work done in rotating a dipole from most stable position to most unstable position, where magnetic dipole moment and magnetic field will be given to you. Suppose magnetic dipole moment is given and magnetic field is given, and they may ask you that find the work done in rotating a dipole from most stable position to most unstable position. Then we can use this formula. Clear? Or else if you want, you can find in another way also. The potential energy of a dipole when it is in most stable position is minus mv, and the potential energy of a dipole when it is in most unstable position is plus mv. So the work done will be u2 minus u1. So plus mv minus of minus mv. So that will be equal to plus 2 mv. You can solve like this. Work done will be equal to, or work done will be equal to change in potential energy. So final potential energy minus initial potential energy. Now final potential energy is mv plus mv minus of minus mv. So you can say that this is equal to mv plus mv, and that is equal to 2 mv. So you can directly apply this formula. The work done in rotating a dipole from most stable to most unstable. So most unstable minus most stable position. So you get 2 mv. Right? So this is how you can find the value. Clear? Now let us solve an example based on whatever we have discussed up till now. A simple example based on periodic time of oscillation of a dipole kept in a uniform magnetic field. So that is our example 5.1. Example 5.1. A magnetic needle has a magnetic moment needle has a magnetic dipole moment of 6.7 into 10 raised to minus 2 ampere meter square. We have a magnetic needle whose magnetic dipole moment is 6.7 into 10 raised to minus 2 ampere meter square, and moment of inertia I is given as 7.5 into 10 to the power minus 6 kg meter square. So the moment of inertia of the needle is 7.5 into 10 raised to minus 6 kg meter square. Now this needle performs 10 complete oscillations. The needle performs 10 complete oscillations in 6.70 seconds. It completes 10 complete oscillations in 6.70 seconds. Then what is the magnitude of the magnetic field? Find the magnitude of the magnetic field. So you can see that in this example, given data are magnetic dipole moment is given, and moment of inertia is given, as well as time for 10 complete oscillation is given, and we have to find magnetic field. So you can say that given magnetic dipole moment n equal to 6.7 into 10 to the power minus 2 ampere meter square, and moment of inertia, let us write moment of inertia I like this, because for us capital I will be current, right? So we are changing symbol for moment of inertia. We write moment of inertia as I, cursive I, right? So I is equal to 7.5 into 10 to the power minus 6 kg meter square. Remember, for us capital I in standard 12, capital I means electric current, and small I is also electric current, but that is for some another particular case, that is for AC current. Capital I is for DC current and small I is for AC current, which you will learn in chapter number 7. So here we are writing different symbol for moment of inertia. Number of oscillation, let us say n is given as 10. Number of oscillation is 10. And the time taken for 10 oscillation is 6.7 seconds. So, and we have to find magnetic field. So you can say that periodic time T is T by N. Time taken to one complete oscillation, time taken for one complete oscillation is T by N. Total time of one number of oscillations. So your T is 6.7 divided by 10. So therefore you get periodic time as 0.67 second. This is our periodic time. Now we know periodic time, we have moment of inertia, we have magnetic dipole moment, and we have to find magnetic field. So directly we can use for a needle, in fact for a magnetic needle kept in uniform magnetic field, for a magnetic needle kept in a uniform magnetic field, E is equal to 2 pi under root I by mb. I by mb. Squaring of our equation. Squaring of our equation. We want to find magnetic field, right? B. We want to find magnetic field B. So we will make B subject. So that's why we are squaring this equation. So if you square this equation, you will get T square will be equal to 4 pi square I by mb, which implies that B will be equal to 4 pi square I over n into T square. So this is equal to 4 into 3.14 square into moment of inertia is 7.5 into 10 to the power minus 6 whole over. Magnetic dipole moment is 6.7 into 10 to the power minus 2 into T square is 0.67 square. So if you simplify this, so 4 into, let us multiply this term. So 4 into 3.14 into 3.14 into 7.5 will give us 295.788 over 6.7 into 0.67 into 0.67 will be 3.00763 into 10 to the power minus 2. Of course, here we have 10 to the power minus 6. So 295.788 divided by 3.00763, you will get 98.34587 into 10 to the power minus 4. This minus 2 will go up, right? So that will become plus 2. So minus 6 plus 2 is minus 4. Or let us move one point only. So 9.8346 into 10 to the power minus 3 Tesla. This will be the value of the magnetic field. Here magnetic field is B is equal to 9.8346 into 10 to the power minus 3 Tesla. Or you can write this as, if you divide by 10 raised to 3, that is divide by 1000, so 0.0098 Tesla. 0.0098 is nearly equal to 1, so you can write 0.01 Tesla. Actually this answer is given in our textbook. Otherwise you can stop here also, right? This is also correct. But in our textbook, answer is given as 0.01 Tesla. So you will stop here. Clear? Now in next lecture, we are going to solve few more examples based on this. Meanwhile, what you have to do is make a note for this. Right? I think you have already made a note for this. So what we'll do in that notebook, write all the topics which we have discussed today in detail, right? And then solve this example. Make sure that you keep on writing and reading, right? You have lots of time now. Because of lockdown, you are getting enough time to prepare all these concepts, to revise it. Right? So make proper use of time, whatever you are getting, right? Make proper use of available time and convert it into good marks. Clear? So next lecture we are going to solve few examples based on this. So what I want is, in next video lecture, before we start our next video lecture, you prepare all these topics, right? And make a proper note. Now in next video lecture, when we will solve example, you should solve with me only. we'll make list like what we have done over here. I will write the question and we'll make the list. As soon as the list is over, along with me, you will also start solving in your own way, and we will check whether our answers are correct or not. Right? So this is how we are going to solve few examples in our next video lecture. Till then, keep on writing, keep on reading, and keep on preparing. Thank you.